Hiya gals and guys, Vetamore here, and today I've got a juicy video for you guys. As always, this channel is about Illuvium education, entertainment, and encouragement. I am not a financial advisor. Now, before we jump in, this video is presented in a way that assumes that you are already aware of the Illuvium tokenomics and how staking in the Illuvium ecosystem works. If you are unfamiliar with the Illuvium ecosystem, I do recommend you watch at least my Illuvium tokenomics video before jumping into this video. Both my tokenomics and staking videos can be found in the description of this video. So this video is a deep dive into Illuvium revenue distribution. For the rest of this video, I will be calling it RevDis, as it is also known. We will be diving into how it works, how you can receive it, and seeing where else it is distributed. We'll be playing around with some numbers and making some future predictions about just how much RevDis you could be potentially receiving with your staked ILV. How many tokens will be receiving RevDis? So realistically, every single token can actually receive revenue distribution, although some will not be able to receive RevDis straight away. And obviously, if a token can receive RevDis but is not staked, it won't be receiving any. Only staked tokens can receive revenue distribution. So there's the 2 million pre-seed and seed tokens, as well as the 1.5 million team tokens. Now, all of these begin unlocking at the end of March 2022, but whilst they are still locked, they are receiving RevDis. Once they begin unlocking, the ones that are unlocked, they will not be receiving RevDis unless that person that has claimed them chooses to stake them, and then those tokens will once more be receiving RevDis. Or of course, if they sell those tokens and somebody else buys them, they can then also stake those tokens to receive RevDis. Around 1.8 million Treasury Tokens, these are all also receiving RevDis. Around 630,000 tokens that are publicly owned, these are all able to receive RevDis when they are staked. 3 million yield distribution tokens, which also earn RevDis once they are claimed. Now, once these are claimed as rewards, they actually are automatically staked for a 12-month period. This is called vesting. And 1 million in-game yield tokens, which when they are earned within the game, they can obviously be staked or they can be sold, but then once more, whoever buys those can stake them. Essentially, any ILV token can be staked to earn RevDis. In total, this adds up to around 6 million eligible tokens currently, and by the game release, over 1 million of these yield distribution tokens will also be vesting and earning RevDis. If you wish to learn more about these different types of tokens, check out my tokenomics video, link in the description below. So the way the revenue distribution works is any revenue earned by any games ever created by Illuvium, all of this revenue goes into the vault. Any revenue earned by merchandise, TV shows or movies or anything else that Illuvium ever does, any revenue earned always goes to the vault. 100% of the revenue in the vault is then used to buy Illuvium token, and 100% of these ILV tokens are then distributed evenly amongst all token holders. Now, the way this distribution works is they take into account first and foremost how many tokens are in each pool. So for example, we've got the seed team tokens, treasury tokens, ILV staking pool, and the sushi LP staking pool. If there's only 100 tokens in each and every one of these pools, then each and every one of these pools will get the same amount of revenue distribution. If, for example, the ILV staking pool had 50% of all of the tokens, then 50% of the ILV earned from revenue distribution would go to that staking pool. The amount of tokens in each pool and the percentage of the total staked tokens, that's how they get distributed. Now, within the sushi liquidity pool, only the ILV portion of that liquidity pool is taken into consideration. So obviously it's half ILV token and half Ethereum tokens in there. None of the value of the Ethereum gets taken into account when it comes to revenue distribution. The seed and team tokens, that over time will no longer be there once they're all unlocked, and there will only be the ILV staking pool, the sushi liquidity pool staking pool, as well as the treasury tokens pool. For somebody like us who is staking only in the ILV or the sushi LP pool, we also have the option to stake with a different weight. So if you stake at 1 weight, then you get the lowest possible amount of revenue distribution. And if you stake at the highest possible weight, which is 2, then you actually get double what somebody staking at a 1 weight would receive. Okay, so let's get to the fun part. Now, we're going to be having a look at how much RevDis you could be earning monthly if you have staked ILV. We'll run some speculative yet conservative numbers based on some info that Kieran, one of the co-founders, has shared in the past. And we'll also be looking at what if Illuvium's monthly earnings were to reach the same level as other popular gaming companies, and how much revenue distribution this would also potentially generate. For the purposes of our projections, we will be assuming that only 7 million ILV tokens are earning RevDis. We will not be factoring in token weight. So if you've staked and you've staked at a token weight of 1, you will be earning around 40% less than what our projections say. And if your stake is at 2 times weight, you'll be earning around 20% more than our results. Okay, so here's a post that Kieran made a while back. The only thing that will matter is revenue distributions. If Axie is at 1 million players by then, looking likely, by then I think they're signifying like when the game comes out, then we should be at least half that in the first 6 months. We have 6 core revenue streams, all active on launch. These core revenue streams are shards, the curing of shards, the Illuvidex fees, 5% of all trading. So if you have an Illuvial or an item or anything within the game that you want to sell to another player, you put it on the Illuvidex, and then whatever you sell that for in Ethereum, 5% of that actually goes to Illuvium, which is then used for revenue distribution, imbues, skins, travel, and wagering fees, 10% of all wagers. If you want to enter the pay to earn regions, you will need to pay a small travel fee. To capture an alluvial, you'll need to cure a shard. To profit off that alluvial, you'll need to sell it on the Illuvidex. So let's break down those fees for a second. None of these amounts are confirmed, and this is not financial advice. So a travel fee will be around $10, an average curing fee around $20, and a bunch of other information. So what he's saying is that this is one of the loops that considers them active players. So if we have 500,000 active players completing a loop X times a day, he's put some projections on there for sort of how much Illuvium could be making monthly. Those projections of his are only based on the travel fee, curing fee, and assuming that they're selling around 1 alluvial for about $100 each time. Obviously, all of these prices are not final prices, just approximate placeholders for visualization purposes to help us imagine the potential. Prices upon launch are likely to be somewhat different than these prices. So therefore, RevDis comes from curing shards, the Illuvidex fees, 5% of all the trading, imbues, skins, travel, wagering fees, and this is only revenue from within the first game. In future, there will also be additional games, and there will be merchandise sales, potential movies, and other forms of revenue. So if we were to forget about all of those streams of revenue and literally only focus on curing shards and travel fees, then our estimates could then be easily said to be quite conservative. Now, why would somebody want to pay to cure a shard and to travel? Because this is equivalent to buying a pack of Pokemon cards, except you actually go into a world of exploration and find and catch those cards. But the element of opening a pack of cards and getting lucky as to what you get is still there. It's simply more interactive and also requires some skill and time. And once you have gone through one such loop, you could sell the alluvials you catch through this loop, likely for more than you paid, because people buying them are paying for the work and time it takes to get them on top of your shard and travel costs. And they're also paying for the privilege of choosing which alluvial they are buying rather than a lucky dip. This is why there is an incentive for players to be going through this loop. So only focusing on curing shards and travel fees, how much revenue distribution would we receive? So that would be $30 per loop. This all goes entirely for revenue distribution. If we assume that the average player plays only 1 loop per day, which I believe is conservative, then that's $30 over 30 days, that's $900 per month. So if we have 100,000 active players, that's 90 million a month. If we have 250,000 active players, that's 225 million per month in revenue distribution. If we've got 500,000 players, that's 450 million a month. 1 million, that's $900 million a month. And if we've got 2 million active players, then Illuvium is making $1.8 billion per month. Now, how much revenue distribution would this be per ILV token? So if we've got 100,000 players, that's $12.85 per ILV per month. And if you've got 100 ILV, you're actually making $1,285 a month. And obviously, the more players we've got, the higher the monthly revenue distribution, to the point where if we've got 2 million active players and you've got 100 ILV staked, you'd actually be making to over $25,000 a month in passive income, which is absolutely insane. Obviously, 2 million players isn't going to happen tomorrow, but that's highly possible if this game goes boom. Kieran was saying that he expects there to be around 500,000 players 6 months after launch, not to mention Illuvium to be hosting the world's biggest esports tournament in history within 6 months of game launch. How long after game launch do you think Illuvium will reach 1 million players? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm not going to read through all of these, so if you want to have a look at them, feel free to pause or to take a screenshot. How much revenue distribution would stakers earn if Illuvium's monthly earnings reached the same earnings as other popular gaming companies? The most Axie Infinity has ever earned in a month was $364 million. Now, this happened only last month, so for all we know, this could only be increasing in the future. Time will tell. The majority of Axie Infinity's revenue actually comes from breeding, and less than 10% of their total revenue actually comes from people selling different Axies. But their only two forms of revenue are from breeding and from people selling Axies and land and different things that you can sell. Illuvium, on the other hand, has, as we saw, many more potential forms of revenue stream. Now, if Illuvium did earn the same revenue as Axie Infinity, then each staked ILV token would be earning $52 a month. And if you had 100 ILV tokens staked, you'd be making $5,200 per month. According to our conservative revenue distribution model, Illuvium would need 404,000 active players to reach this amount. Now, our model was actually conservative. Now, for Axie Infinity to reach this amount of revenue, they've actually got over 500,000 players. And Illuvium, however, would need far less players to actually be earning the same amount. And our conservative models actually don't include many of the other ways in which Illuvium also earns revenue. So it would likely take even less than 400,000 active players to reach this amount. You could actually take only 200,000 active players on Illuvium to get to this point. And within Axie Infinity, a lot of their players are actually spending quite a substantial amount of time per day playing every single day. So Epic Games earn around 350 million per month, actually very similar to Axie Infinity, because Axie Infinity is literally beaten Fortnite. The majority of revenue earned from Fortnite is purely from skins, and we haven't even included revenue earned from skins within the Illuvium revenue predictions. The other thing to keep in mind is that all of the money spent in Fortnite and other mainstream games is lost and can never be claimed back once it's been spent. Whereas all of the money spent within Illuvium gives you some kind of in-game utility, item, or alluvial that in future can earn you money and or be sold for money. So play-to-earn gaming has a lot more potential than any current gaming dynamics out there, as well as the potential to attract people who used to be gamers but stopped being gamers because they were like, this is a waste of time and a waste of money, but it no longer has to be with this new paradigm. Now, if Illuvium earned the same revenue as Epic Games, then there'd be a $50 a month RevDis going on for each Illuvium token. If you've got 100 ILV tokens staked, then you'd be earning $5,000 a month of passive income. And according to our conservative RevDis model, Illuvium would need 389,000 active players to reach this amount. Activision Blizzard earn around $675 million a month. Now, if Illuvium were earning the same, then each staked ILV token would earn around $96 per month, and 100 staked ILV tokens, you'd be earning nearly $10,000 a month. Now, according to our conservative RevDis model, Illuvium would need around 750,000 active players to reach this amount. And as far as I'm aware, there is actually millions and millions of people worldwide playing Activision Blizzard games. Sony earns around $2 billion a month from gaming alone. Granted, they sell consoles as well as games, but it is interesting to compare since we don't know just how big play-to-earn gaming can get since it's a completely new industry. Now, if Illuvium were actually earning the same revenue as Sony, then each staked ILV token would earn around $285 a month. And if you've got 100 staked ILV tokens, you'd be earning over $28,000 per month in passive income. And according to our conservative RevDis model, Illuvium would only need to reach 2.2 million active players to reach this amount. This is a very large number, but also, is it super out of the question to actually be competing with the world's biggest gaming companies out there? Absolutely not out of the question. Obviously, Sony is also earning money from physical consoles, and compared to other gaming companies, if you do actually buy a gaming console, you can in future, if you want to, sell it, but you will always be selling it at a lower price than the price you've bought it, unless you got some super rare console and you've kept it in perfect condition. Whereas playing Illuvium, there is the potential to not only get back some of your money, but actually make money. Conclusion: even in keeping our estimates somewhat conservative, I think that the numbers show the potential of play-to-earn gaming is absolutely huge. Thanks for watching, guys. I thoroughly recommend joining the Illuvium Discord. The community is super friendly over there, and they're always happy to answer any questions. There's a link for the Discord in the description below. For more in-depth content, subscribe to this channel. To support the channel, leave a thumbs up on this video. Crypto donations are accepted at vetamore.eth. I'm Vetamore. You're the future, and I'll see you there.